Okie dokie. Good morning, everybody. Make sure I'm live. All right. So I'm coming on here today because I have been racking my brain for the last few days trying to figure out what I can do to help people. So as you guys know, I'm a nurse, right? And those of us who are clinical, most of us who are clinical went into our fields of practice because we want to help people. That's why we go into clinical. That's why we become nurses or doctors or respiratory therapists or whatever it is. And so in true fashion, I guess, I have been just racking my brain trying to figure out how I can help people. You know, we're all suffering in different ways. We're all finding opportunities out of the suffering in different ways. I hope that you guys are finding opportunities. And I think one of the opportunities that we all have, honestly, is to sort of make something out of helping other people that's bigger than what we're going through on our day-to-day lives. Because, you know, you can kind of get caught up in the caca of what's happening around us. And I've had my days, right? I've had my days where I've actually asked my family to pray for me because my attitude is not so great. And I've had to work on that. And then there's other days where I have a great attitude and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I actually get to relax a little bit once in a while, or, you know, my husband's not working right now, which normally would be an issue, but we've worked really hard to set ourselves up so that that's not an issue. And he's getting a lot of stuff done around the property, which is amazing. So there's blessings, right, in disguise. And it's easy sometimes to focus on like what's happening with you individually, right here in your spot, in your house, in your world, what's happening with your job, with your family, all that stuff. And it can get very overwhelming. I totally understand that. I've had my days. But you know what? One of the cures for that is, I find, is that if I can actually help other people, then all of a sudden my day is not focused on me, right? And my problems, which we all have. So today I just wanted to come on here and I actually just want to give. That's honestly what this is about. So I'm getting ready to head out to our property. I'm actually a little bit late. So if my husband is watching this, I'm really sorry, honey. I said I was going to leave a half an hour ago, but I really felt like it was important to come on and offer to help. So here's what my offer is. I'm basically going to show you what I do for a living. And I'm going to show you how I think it can help you. And if that's something that you're interested in, then fan freaking tastic. If it has nothing to do with you, that's okay too. I hope I'm entertaining enough, at least for the part of the video that you're watching or the part of the live that you're watching. By the way, if you are watching this live, can you let me know? I've got my phone next to me and I'm just trying to figure out like, why I'm not seeing this on my phone, but hey, let's just keep going. So anyway, so here's the deal. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a little bit about the main tool that we use. It's called Compliantly. It's freaking fabulous. Okay. I'm going to open up my screen here. So this is Compliantly. Now I'm logged in to a demo account. This doesn't actually have any PHI in it. There's no patient information. So there's not much stats either. Like you can see the dashboard has a lot of zeros on it. But that's because we obviously can't show you real stuff, but I want to show you some things, right? So, this tool Compliantly, it's called that for a reason. It's because it's a HIPAA compliant marketing option. So if you're a medical practice owner or you're doing marketing for people, that are medical practice owners and they fall under the federal guidelines called HIPAA, the big, you know, I guess it would be like the 4-letter H word, except for it's more than 4 letters. It's the bane of our existence, guys. If we're from a clinical perspective, that's actually just one bane of our existence. But the truth of the matter is it's really not that difficult to navigate from a marketing perspective if you understand what it takes to do it. And so when I'm thinking about how I can help people, you know, give me a shot here. I'm gonna go through my idea with you. It's gonna kind of come together at the end after I go through a little bit of this stuff. But I want to show you around Compliantly a little bit. So it's a HIPAA compliant marketing platform. It's if you're a Clickfunnels user, which I used to be, You're going to recognize some of the things that are offered in compliantly, because it does a lot of the stuff that ClickFunnels does, albeit ClickFunnels is not a HIPAA compliant marketing platform. So that's not really an option if you're doing medical marketing right. But it does so much more than ClickFunnels, you guys. I mean, I had 14 tools that I was kind of duct taping together when I was doing marketing before. And now I pretty much just use this. There's a couple of integrations and that's it. But let me just show you around a little bit. So there's the dashboard, right, which doesn't have much on it, but you can see that there's a lot of stats, and we believe that what gets measured gets managed, right? It's really important to know your numbers, because that's how you can make minor improvements that make major impact. There's a conversation section in here, which again, there's not a lot of information in here, but I just want you to see, like, if we're texting somebody, if we're having calls with somebody, if we're emailing back and forth with somebody, all of that shows up in this one window. So we don't actually have to go over to email to look at something, over to our text, messages to look at something. Oh, I need to check a voicemail to hear what they said. No, it's all in here. It's like communication on steroids. I don't know how to put it. It's so much easier to manage communication, not just for me or between me and the client or the lead, but for our whole team. Like, our whole team can get in here and manage communication, and we can even set up tasks and things and notifications, and we can make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we can actually look at stats on that to make sure that's happening. It's fabulous. So like, if I wanted to text this person right now, I could just click on send SMS, and I could just type in something and I could send a text. I'm not going to do that. But basically I could do that. And oh my goodness, I'm losing my voice already. You guys, bear with me. Anyway, then there's the opportunities. And again, there's not data in this demo account, so it's not terribly exciting to look at. We have accounts, obviously, in compliantly that have real data, and there would be a ton of cool stuff on the screen, but just picture all of the leads that come in lining up in this column right here. And then once they start engaging in conversation, they move over to this column. And then once they book calls, and if they no-show, and if they convert into a procedure, or they need to be nurtured, or whatever it is that you're doing with your pipeline, all of this can be measured, therefore managed, right? And we can put different team members on these activities to make sure that it's all happening the way that it's supposed to happen. It's so, so important, you guys. Then we get into marketing, and let's go look at campaigns. So I'm just going to open up the appointment confirmation and reminders campaign, just to give you an idea of what a campaign looks like. So campaigns are basically just, it's texts and emails and voice drops, and maybe sending a task to your front desk staff person to have them do a manual call. It could be so many things, you guys. There's just more than you can even imagine that's available in here. In fact, let me just pretend to add an event to this campaign. Do you see all the things that you can do in here? There's so much that you can do in these campaigns, and it just automates things and it makes it amazing. And what's even more amazing is in our real account, which of course I can't show you, you can see stats. So let me go back to that point. What gets measured gets managed, right? So see where it has the stats that line up here, how many have gone through that particular campaign, how many have replied to it, things like that. My reply rate on this campaign, appointment confirmation and reminders, is about 85–86%, which is, I mean, if you don't have perspective for that, it's a really high number. It's actually a really good reply rate. And the reason it's so high is because the texts and the emails that are going out with this campaign when somebody books an appointment, they're written from my heart. Like, they're written exactly the way that I would have hand typed it out if I had time to hand type it out to every single person that books with us, right? And so they feel exactly as they should. They feel like they're talking to a real person. And so the reply rates are very high. The no-show rates are very, very low, because they're getting that nurturing between the time the appointment is booked and the time that they actually are supposed to show for the appointment. So we rarely have no-shows when these campaigns are in use. And on top of that, when they do reply, if they need to like reschedule, or they can't make that call for some reason, they'll tell us, which is great. I would rather that happened than they just show up or they just don't show up for the call. And we're just sitting there like, ding, 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 ding. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Campaigns are amazing. Underneath the marketing tab, there's a little bit more I can show you. I'm not going to show you everything in here because it could take forever. There's so much you can do in Compliantly. But you can build forms, right? So if you're putting an ad out on Facebook or something and you want somebody to give their contact information in exchange for, let's say, the 10 things that you should look for when you're deciding to blah, 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 whatever, right? Or if they're taking you up on an offer for your service and they're giving you their contact information. I mean, there's so many different kinds of forms that you can build in here. We actually have a form where somebody can upload files. So I'll just open it. Here we go. So you can do a file upload. So if you have a patient that's scheduled, let's say a telehealth call with you, and you would really like to be able to see them in person because you want to be able to see the wound, or you want to be able to see the incision, or you want to be able to see the rash, or you want to see their teeth, or whatever it is, there are ways that we can use compliantly, right? To get pictures. So if your patient who's getting ready for this call could upload a couple of pictures in a HIPAA compliant fashion to a HIPAA compliant storage solution, I mean, that just makes things so much easier. And now you can use that as part of your electronic medical record documentation for that telehealth call. So this is just one more fabulous way that you can use forms under Compliantly. There's also surveys. So you can build out surveys where you can kind of like nurture people through a process where you're asking them some questions, kind of feeling out whether they're a good fit for you. They're feeling out whether you're a good fit for them. And the surveys kind of warm people up. So surveys are awesome. If you guys are using Survey Gizmo or some tool like that, then you'll know that this is a pretty fabulous way to do your marketing. Now, here's the thing. If you are using, I'm going to go to SMS and email templates. If you're using a tool like Clickfunnels or lots of other tools out there, and let's say you've been using it for a while, I know I was, right? And you've got a lot of stuff built in that tool that's like, oh man, I'd hate to have to stop using my current tool to start using a new tool because it seems kind of overwhelming. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want to show you a couple of really neat features that would make that process sort of easy to switch from one thing to another. Not that it has to be done in like 5 minutes, right? But here's one of the ways that you can do it. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you go into, let's say, Clickfunnels, and you have, let's say you have all these fabulous email, campaigns and nurturing sequences, and you've got, email templates that you're using, and you've written them all out and they're beautiful. Okay. And you're like, oh, I don't want to have to rebuild all that stuff. Don't. Just go add a template. Add an email template or add an email. There's more than one way, obviously, to do this, right? But you don't have to like hand type it out. You can just click on the source code and copy that from whatever your current system is and just paste it right in here. And then what'll happen is like right before your eyes, the whole email, like with the buttons and the logos and the bold text and whatever it is you've done in there, it'll just pop right in. It's a beautiful thing. So it's really not hard to do it. And then the other thing, like if you're already using a tool like ClickFunnels and you're thinking, what about all those funnels? I'm just going to skip down here to funnels to show you. So if you've used a tool like ClickFunnels and then you come in here and use this, I'm just going to open up the demo here. You're going to recognize the screen. I mean, it looks very familiar. It feels familiar. It makes the transition a lot easier. This is such an easy tool to use. But what's even better is if I won't actually add this new step, but if I add this new step and I want to, put in some kind of a landing page or an order page or a calendar page or something, you can, put in your path. And then I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but right here, you can put in the ClickFunnels URL. Now, this is not a share link. This is the actual URL. So you can just go to your funnel as though you are someone who's actually going through the funnel, right? You don't have to be in your ClickFunnels account. You don't have to you don't have to click a share funnel link or anything like that. You can just get the actual URL, like right up here from the URL space, and pop it in here and then click create funnel step. And again, what will happen before your very eyes is the funnel that you built will just appear. It takes like 10 seconds max, and the funnel you built will just appear. It's fabulous. And it saved our bacon a lot because we had a lot of funnels. Obviously, we had a lot of funnels in ClickFunnels too, but we don't have to rebuild all that stuff. You just pop them in. So you pop those in, you pop your emails in, you pop your domain in. I mean, it's just it makes life so much easier. But what's even better is all the rest of the stuff that's built around that in Compliantly. It is not just, funnels and forms and campaigns. I mean, you can get that from a lot of places. You can't get it HIPAA compliant. So there is the big difference there, but there's so much more to Compliantly. So let me show you a few other things. I'm going to close up marketing. There's reporting, there's Google Ads reporting, there's Facebook ads reporting that's coming. There's scheduling, so you can integrate your calendar with this. And guys, we have been able to integrate the calendars of our practice owners, their EMR. So because we're compliant, because we sign business associate agreements with our clients, because we understand the behaviors and the required documentation around being HIPAA compliant in your marketing, we can go a huge step further, like 10 steps further than most people who do medical marketing, because we can get access to things that most medical marketers can't get access to, which makes our job so much easier and gives us the ability to put so much more revenue in the hands of the practice owner. So if you're a practice owner and you're kind of curious about how you could increase your revenue, but you're a little nervous maybe about working with a marketer because you're not really sure if it's compliant, or maybe you've had some bad experiences. Maybe I'll do another video on that or something. But anyway, I just want you to know, like, this should be we would want to make this a really comfortable, easy process for you. We would want to feel very safe about what you're doing, because we're intending to do this right. We're intending to serve our clients at a higher level of service. So if you are a practice owner and you're looking for a higher level of service than maybe what you've gotten or are getting from your current marketer, then, talk to us, because we can help you. And oftentimes we can help your marketer. It's not even about trying to steal business from somebody. That's not what we're about, but we can definitely help. So let us know how we can help you. You can integrate your calendar. You can, so you get real-time appointment scheduling when you've got ads running, and they can schedule appointments right from the funnel, and they're not going to overbook your day. So if you've got, EMR calendar of some sort, or your patient calendar, then don't worry about getting double or triple booked, right? And then there's a whole thing around reputation management. I can't really show you. Obviously, there's not going to be reviews that line up on this demo account. There's not going to be a bunch of review requests that show up in here. But just so you know, this section alone is worth it. Like, what we're doing right now with our practice owners is we're helping them to increase their relevance, their prevalence online, by helping them get a lot more reviews than what they have right now, and increase their scores, and just really build them up in time for, sort of the market to start reopening. We want our practice owners to have that presence online where people feel, they read the reviews and they're excited to talk with them, because frankly, they're excellent providers, and they just don't have a great way to show that sometimes if they don't know how to get reviews. So let us help you with that. We can help you build up your reviews, your reputation. It's fabulous. We can put contacts in here. So here's another thing. The beauty about being HIPAA compliant, right, is that if you have, 5, 10, 15,000 people in your EMR database, patients, then, we can just upload that list right in here. We can import those contacts right in here, and we can use that to help build your reputation. We can do reactivation campaigns so that we bring in some business for you when those doors do open, because frankly, I don't know what you might be thinking, but it's not going to be a situation where you just open your doors and magically, deliciously, like all of your previous patients and a whole bunch of new patients just start walking through the doors. That's not how the economy is going to turn back on. And so let us help you. Let us help you with that. We can add your entire patient list in here compliantly, and we can help you build your practice back up as those doors open. I can't wait. I just can't wait. This is such an opportunity. And then I told you about the funnels. There's triggers, which is a little bit technical, so I'm not going to get into that, but just understand that this system allows us to say, if something happens, then we want this, that, and the other thing to happen too. If somebody fills out a form and says they're interested in our offer, then I want them to be tagged, with a certain word, so that we can market to them based on what it is they're interested in, instead of just shoving an offer out to everybody that they might not be interested in. We can get notifications. We can have them move in that pipeline. We can send them, links or nurturing sequences, more texts or emails, things like that, things that they'd be interested in, things that help them move closer to you in terms of the know, like, and trust, right? And so the triggers are just amazing. I'm going to skip over online listings. We can talk about that another time. We can do phone call tracking. So we have a couple of phone calls in this demo account. So you get to see a little bit of stats. It's not terribly exciting, but just think about this for a second. You've got ads running. You have calls coming in, maybe from your website, from your landing page, from wherever. And what gets measured gets managed, right? So what's happening with all of those calls? Where are they coming from? What's the most, what's the best source of those calls? Are they first-time calls? Are they repeat calls? Of the people that are answering those calls, are they actually taking those calls when they're coming in, or are they delaying and not answering the call? I mean, there's so many stats that we can have in here. It's just amazing. And then I'm going to go into settings just a little bit because I don't want to overwhelm people, because honestly, I can help you set all of this up. I can help you do all the integrations. I can help you build out all of the initial campaigns and triggers and funnels and things that you need. It's a great starting point. It's not something that you should feel overwhelmed by, but this tool is amazing. So we can set up your pipeline. We can set up your integrations. We can set up what phone numbers you're using. We can set up your calendar. We can set up custom fields, custom values. This is all important stuff for marketing. It might be words you're not necessarily used to hearing. We can put your domain in here. We can add tags. We can attach your email, SMTP, whatever client you're using. And so all this becomes not just integrated, but seamless. It all just fits together like a glove. Now, I told you at the beginning of this that I really wanted to do something that I thought could help people. Now, we obviously market compliantly. I mean, that's kind of a play on words, isn't it? We market compliantly, meaning if you're interested in having an account with us, we can absolutely talk with you about that. We have been marketing compliantly for a while, and the monthly for compliantly is $197 a month. It's $100 less than Clickfunnels, you guys, and it does like 10 times more. And so we can do that for $197 a month. That's like nothing when it comes to HIPAA compliant marketing. If any of you have gone out and tried to find a way to do HIPAA compliant marketing, you know that it can be very expensive and often involves sort of duct taping a bunch of tools together. It's not a fun process, but it's necessary. So we offer to do that with monthly accounts. We also offer an annual option where you basically pay for 10 months, so it'd be $19.70. And then you get the last 2 months for free. So if you're interested in an annual account, let us know. We'd be happy to do that with you. But here's the thing. Here's what I really want to talk with you about, is that a lot of people, when they come to us initially, they say, oh, well, what tools are we allowed to use? What tools should we be using? The questions are often centered around the tools. Like, this is a tool, right? Compliantly is a tool. The thing is tools don't make a business compliant. They don't make the marketer compliant. They don't make the medical practice, compliant, obviously, right? But a lot of people really focus on tools and they think that's the thing that they need to get right. But the reality is that HIPAA is sort of a magic combination between required documentation and behavior. There's so much more to it. So how can I help you? And obviously can help you by helping you get an account in compliantly, and I can help set you up for success, and we can make sure that all your integrations and all your configurations and all the other Asians, right? They're great. And we can get all kinds of ROI on that. But I'm not really feeling great about helping you in that way unless you understand the HIPAA piece of it. So what could I do to make that better? What could I do to help people more? And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I actually have a full-on course on HIPAA compliance secrets. And HIPAA compliance secrets is basically a 8-week coaching, or not coaching, it's an 8-week course, right? It's an online course. I'll go into the inside of it here so you can see it. It's an online course. So this is our membership program, and you can come into HIPAA compliance secrets, and there's all these different modules and lessons that are included in here. Okay. It's a full course. The intent of this course is to make sure that you understand those behaviors. It's to make sure that you understand what you can and can't do when it comes to medical marketing. It's to make sure that you know, well, I'll tell you what, let's just walk through it. Okay. Let's just walk through the course. So the course is $14.97. Let's talk about the price in a minute. Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's 25 lessons in the course. It starts with, just basic stuff like, oh, I need a privacy or security official. Maybe I need both. If you're a practice owner, you need both. One person can do it. If you're a marketer, then you just need a security official. These are things you guys don't necessarily know, but I can help you with it. Then we go into HIPAA 101. What is it? What's the key terminology? How do I know if this even applies to what I'm doing? And which parts of it apply? It's not like all of HIPAA applies to what I'm doing, right? And so then I kind of give you a roadmap for the next 8 weeks. Now, this is where it gets exciting. So many people ask us questions about how do I respond to online reviews? Some practice owners are afraid to respond to online reviews simply because they are afraid that they're going to violate HIPAA. And so they just don't reply to reviews. And from a marketing standpoint, that is a real shame. That's a real loss. We would like to help you understand what you can and can't do, how to navigate review management, right? So we have a whole lesson on online reviews, but then let's go into websites. Most practice owners have websites that are not compliant. And listen, it's not like any of us who went to school for our clinical, role learned how to do medical marketing. That's not what they teach you when you go to school to be a doctor, to be a nurse, to be whatever. They don't talk to you about HIPAA hardly at all. I mean, I went to nursing school 20 plus years ago, so it was 1996. There was no Facebook, you guys. There was no freaking Facebook. So all of this stuff is like a little overwhelming if you're not used to it. And so that's the whole point of this course, is to make sure that you guys don't feel so overwhelmed, that you actually have the information that you need. And not only that, but you have the tool that you need to be able to carry it all out. So we'll talk with you about websites, just the basic elements of a website. When I do a website audit, I look at 10 things. There's 6 things about a website that are typically not in line with HIPAA. Fairly easy to fix if you know what they are. And so I help our practice owners audit that so they can understand what the challenges are and make sure that we're overcoming those obstacles. And then when you're talking about social media, there's usually 4 or 5 things that are non-compliant just around how they're managing reviews and social media just in general. So these are all things that I cover in the course. Then we talk about business associate agreements. Again, technical mumbo jumbo, right? But it's important. And it's so important that I don't just cover what they are. What I do is I actually give you the tools that you need. And so if you need a business associate agreement template, I have that. All of the templates, all of the checklists, everything that we use with our clients is in this course. I don't hold back on this course because I really want to make sure that you all have everything you possibly could need to be set up for success. And so the business associate agreements are in here. The valid authorization form template is in here. And I'm telling you, I've been working with practice owners for a few years now, and I have not yet seen a valid HIPAA authorization form. I've seen a couple that are close. They're, out of the 9 things that are required, they might be missing 3, which is pretty good, but it's not good enough. Unfortunately, when, the government comes knocking on the door, they don't go, oh, points for trying. Well, actually they do go points for trying, but if your authorization is not valid, it's just not valid. Okay. So we can help you fix that. We have the template for that. And these aren't templates that I just went out and Google searched and put together and said, oh yeah, that looks good. No, I actually had lawyers involved. A few lawyers actually involved, 3 lawyers involved. And one of my lawyers is actually a former HIPAA investigator. So you can bet your booty that when I'm putting templates together for our business and then I'm sharing them with you, I'm making sure that we're covered for darn sure. So I'm not going to hand off something to you that I wouldn't use personally. And so we definitely make sure that you guys have what you need to carry all of this stuff out. So if you're looking for a solution to understand how HIPAA applies to medical marketing, I hope that you find this course very valuable. And by the way, if you get this course and you think it sucks, just tell me, I'll refund your money. I'm not interested in taking your money if that's not something that's helping you. But try the course, because this is going to answer all the questions that y'all have. And I know that because I get all the questions. And I made sure that I ran this thing through 2 or 3 different beta rounds before I actually made it what it is today. And I made sure that all the questions that we were getting, little to big, whatever the questions were, I made sure they're all answered in the course. I go over the security rule in detail, because that's a big part of the required documentation. I need to understand what the security rule says you need to be doing, what you need to be evaluating, how you need to handle yourself, right? I walk you through your first risk analysis. And by the way, if this is stuff that you're like, I don't want to have to do that, I get it. I totally understand. And just like you, I would want some help with it, right? So we have people we can refer you to if you need some help getting this stuff done. I'm not an expert risk analysis person. Like, I'm not going to come and do your risk analysis for you. That's not my role, but I can certainly walk you what a risk analysis is, how to do it, what's all involved, why it's important. And then if you need some help with that, then I would highly encourage you to work with us, and we can refer you to people that are experts in this area. And it doesn't cost all that much. I mean, and to do it right is actually quite an investment, because you don't want to end up on the other side of that, where somebody complains and next thing you know, you're in an investigation, and oh, by the way, they're going to ask you for your documentation. That's the first thing the government does. They don't want to hear your excuses. They don't want to hear your side of the story. They don't even want to talk to you. They're just going to ask for your required documentation, and you better be able to produce it, and it better be following all the rules. And so, if you need help with that, let us know. I'm happy to help refer you to, I have, several people that I could refer you to that can help you with that stuff. Security policies and procedures, same thing. I'll give you a template. I explain all the pieces and parts of a standard PMP, and we walk through the different security policies and procedures that you should have to make sure that you have these things. What if something bad happens? It happens. I mean, the government's not expecting perfection. Okay. So now let's say my computer gets stolen or lost, or somebody gets a hold of my lead list or my patient list, and now all of a sudden I'm freaking out, right? Don't freak out. Don't freak out. That's what the course is here to help you with, is to help you kind of navigate, how do I handle all of this? And so a breach notification rule is a big lesson in the course. And frankly, there's a little secret in there. I'll give you a little hint. There are certain types of breaches that don't actually need to be reported. They're not reportable. And I teach you how to make sure that you're using those secrets so that when you have a breach, because it'll happen, right? When you have a breach, if you have a breach, I help you set yourself up for success so that it's not a reportable event. All right. And then as far as training, there are some training requirements and recommendations that go along with medical marketing when it comes to HIPAA. This course meets the training requirement. Ta-da! Okay. So I'll give you a certificate of completion at the end of it, because I want to make sure that you have everything that you need. And I'm going to handhold you through the whole thing. So here's the deal. I just told you that the course is $14.97. I just told you that a market compliantly account is $197 a month, or $19.70 for the year. What I'm going to offer you today, because I really want to help, and I think it's important that you don't just get a tool and hope that everything else is okay. The tool and the course kind of go hand in hand. It's really important to know how to use the tool and how to do medical marketing right. So the offer that I'm going to make you is pretty ridiculous. And actually, Joe, if you're listening, he's my business partner. I might have changed this a little bit from what we talked about. So prepare. So what I'm going to say is that if you get the coaching program, if you get the HIPAA Compliance Secrets course, okay, for $14.97, how about we just give you a Compliantly account? Why not? How about we just give you a Compliantly account for 6 months? Not a couple months, not a month, not a free trial. How about we just give you the tools that you need for 6 months? Go through the course. It's $14.97. It's a ridiculously low price for how much it cost me personally to pay all my lawyers to get all this information, but I really want to help you. So if you're interested in doing medical marketing right, if you're interested in a tool, in a HIPAA compliant way of doing your medical marketing, if you want a Compliantly account, which is, $197 a month. I mean, it's $100 less than Clickfunnels, for crying out loud, and it does a bunch more. If you want an account with us, get the coaching, get the course, get HIPAA compliant secrets, right? $14.97. I will give you a compliantly account for 6 months. I will even help you set it all up and put some initial like campaigns, triggers, funnels in there. I help you do all of that stuff because I really want to see you be successful, and I want to help set you up so that you're not putting yourself or your client at risk. And so I'm going to throw a link into the post that this live is in, and I'll show you how you can get to this spot where you can click the get access now and go ahead and grab this offer. And I don't know how long the offer is going to be. We've kind of talked about what we're doing for the month of May, but I don't know how long the offer is going to be. Part of it's going to depend honestly on you guys. So if you have questions, throw them in the comments. In fact, let me look and see if I have, sorry, let me grab my phone here. I am trying to find my live. Is that ridiculous? I can't even find it on my own phone. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I see some comments in here. Let me look at them. Whoops. I'll turn down the volume so I have to listen. All right. Yo. What is that app you're using, Jim? It's called Compliantly. I hope you got your question answered, Jim. I hope you're still on here, but if not, I'll go ahead and answer in here. But it's Compliantly. Honestly, it's a marketing tool like no other marketing platform you've ever seen. It's like Clickfunnels on steroids. I mean, you can get rid of your calendar, you can get rid of CallRail, you can get rid of Clickfunnels, Kartra, Lead Pages, Infusionsoft, get rid of all that stuff. Okay, all you need in here is a Twilio account. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, wait, is Twilio HIPAA compliant? Technically, no. Twilio is not HIPAA compliant, but I have a way for it not to have to be compliant. I have a way that can actually make Twilio an option for you. And so if that's something that you're interested in, grab this offer. I mean, just grab the offer. Just get the course. It's $14.97. It's like a no-brainer. You're going to get 6 months of Compliantly out of that. And then after that, Compliantly is only $197 a month, which is going to save you probably several $100s a month. And I know the marketing tools y'all are using, and they're not even compliant. So if you just add up the monthly on what you're spending for just basic marketing tools to duct tape it all together and make it work, oh my gosh, this is going to save you hundreds of dollars every month. This is not a joke. I mean, I have saved myself hundreds of dollars every month by just using our own Compliantly option. And so I've put everything I can into this. I don't know what else to do to help you all get what you need. But if you are doing medical marketing, or if you're a practice owner and you want to kind of like dip your toes into the water of doing marketing, let us help you get started. Let us help you, build up your Google reviews and build up your Google review score and really just get your online presence where it needs to be as you're starting to open your doors back up so we can build up you, right? Let us sign a business associate agreement with you and throw your patient list into this tool so that we can actually help you set up a retargeting campaign, right? Or a reactivation campaign. Let us help you open your doors in a way where people are actually coming through them. And let us help you do that for a fraction of the cost of what it would be any other way that I know of. There's no other way to do this that I know of that is even close to the low dollar amount that we're talking about right now. And by the way, if you think it sucks, tell me that too, because I'm not interested in holding on to your money if this is something that's not going to work for you. So if you have questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer whatever I can. If there's a bunch of questions on something in particular, I'll do another live to cover it. Otherwise, I'm going to throw a link into the comments here so that you know exactly how you can take us up on this offer. I don't know how long the offer is going to be. I really just honestly haven't really talked with Joe about it, so I'm kind of winging it right now. But pick up the coaching program for $14.97 and learn how to do medical marketing right. And then get a Compliantly account for 6 months for no additional investment, and we will help you get started. And that is all. That's pretty much what I wanted to help you all with. So awesome. Bye.